Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us here as we get ready for the NCAA Championship next weekend in Detroit. Got three Penn Staters joining us today, head coach Cael Sanderson and top seeds at 141 and 197, Nick Lee and Max Dean, respectively. We're going to go ahead and get started with Coach Sanderson. So questions for Cael and Greg Pickle. Get it started.
Hi, Coach. Thanks for your time today.
Hey, Greg.
What was your reaction to the NCAA seeds last night? Did any of them surprise you? Did anyone come in a little bit lower than you expected, or what were your takeaways from that release last night?
I think, it was consistently inconsistent like it has been in the past years. It is what it is at this point. I think it's something that probably should be addressed. You obviously have a flawed system that kind of lacks judgment and wisdom, consistency. But, right now we got our draws and we're ready to roll.
Jim Carlson.
Sorry. Cael, you had addressed in Lincoln, you lost a number of close bouts and all, but is there anything you can do at this juncture for the guys who lost those close matches in overtime? What are the intangibles, maybe that can make the difference in bouts like that? And because you're going to have more close bouts this week.
Yeah, I think we won a lot of close matches too, right? So it's just, focusing on the positives, just remembering and knowing we're ready to go, which we are, and we'll have our best performance of the year next week.
Andy Elder.
Cael, I was wondering, in some of those close matches, the ones that went either way, I'm wondering what lessons you learned or you could impart on your wrestlers that they can use this week at Nationals.
Just win close matches, I guess, and that's probably the biggest takeaway. And, I think it's just like anything else. It's not like we learned anything new or good or bad. It's just, we just got to use the time we have and use the abilities that these guys have worked hard to develop, and just wrestle with some enthusiasm. I mean, that's usually always number one.
Tanyon Loose.
Okay, also Big Tens makes it really the second time that you guys have had 4 individual champions and not came away with a team title. What would you tell someone like outside of the program to just display the team's confidence going into NCAAs that you're going to get the job done this time?
Could you say that again? Like, what am I going to tell somebody? What
would you say to someone outside the program, say like a fan, that like the team is going to get it done this time, I guess? What's the difference between those past 2 times now and next week?
We're going to go in there and we're going to give our best effort. That's what we're going to do. And I think that's what, real fans support and they can expect. And, that's what we're going to give.
Ben Surface.
Cael, obviously you guys were the favorite at Big Tens, walked away just 1.5 points shy of Michigan. But what was the message to the team? And what is the message going forward in preparation for Nationals now?
I think for the most part, our guys wrestled pretty well at the Big Tens. We got 9 guys through. We got through healthy, and we're ready to roll here for the Nationals. The Nationals are always really what we focus on, and our guys know that. So that's the past is the past. We're good. We're moving on.
Jim Carlson.
Cael, you're losing 4 out of the first 5 guys in your lineup. So how important is it to you to help them achieve, their best possible finish to their careers at the NCAAs?
Yeah, that's, as a coach, you just want to see your kids happy, right? You want to see them smiling and reaching their goals, and you prepare for that all year round. And it's just about being consistent for them, be the same person they were day 1, day 2, day 3. And that's just what we do. Ultimately, whether they reach their goals or not, that's up to them. And if you don't reach your goals in a sport, that can sometimes be a huge blessing to you in your life. So just to motivate you and teach you lessons and fuel you for bigger and better things. So we're never worried about not reaching our goals, and we're not worried about losing. We want to just be the best we can be, and regardless of the outcome, you know, we're going to be our best the next day, and that's just the pattern that that we strive for.
Andy Elder.
Cael, you've said that one of the crucial parts of success is just being consistently at your best. I'm wondering, what kind of things do you do this week or at nationals to allow your wrestlers to be relaxed and to be able to function at their highest level?
Well, we just make sure they know they're in phenomenal shape, and just try to stay out of their way, really. You know, we have a couple more days of hard training here, and then we'll let these guys, they'll get rested up and feel fresh, and then just go do their thing. I mean, at this point, you know, it's not about motivating a kid to want to go to the national tournament. You know, they've wanted to win the national tournament their whole life. So it's just supporting them right now.
Zach Allen.
Hey, Cael. Brady finished third at the Big Tens, but when the seedings released, he was ranked, I think, 16th. Is that kind of where you expected him to land after his performance at the Big Ten tournament?
You know what? I didn't know what to expect with him. I mean, regardless, you got to beat good guys, and if you want to win the nationals, you obviously have to beat everybody. But yeah, I think obviously, I think probably anybody would have figured he would have been seated higher, top 10 type of a situation. I mean, all the other top 3 place winners in the Big Ten, I think, were top 10 ranking. So he kind of, but that just comes back to the system and flawed system, and it is what it is at this point. And Brady's wrestled better and better every match, and he looked great, and he's ready to roll.
Greg Pickle.
Coach, coming out of the Big Ten tournament, what do you, I know you talk about consistency and guys pushing for their own goals and everything else, but with Drew, what do you need him to focus on this week heading into nationals? And were you surprised again? I know we keep going back to the same topic, but with his seed as well, based on what he did earlier in the season and then in Big Tens.
Yeah, I think his was a surprise also. He had a huge drop, lost to 2 top 10 guys, but again, when if you don't go take care of business, you kind of leave it up to somebody else, and you leave it up to a committee and a system that you just don't know what you're going to get. But Drew's fine. He's just got to go. Just again, I'm just repeating myself, but be himself, right? Just be himself and go score some points. He can't let it come down to seconds. Just that's risky, and you're rolling the dice there a little bit. He usually comes out on top when that happens, but yeah, you just got to go wrestle to win. That's it. Wrestle to score points.
Tanyon Loose.
Yeah, kind of coming back to my first question, just knowing that you've had 4 individual champions now twice and not had a team title win, to what extent do you think that this national title is going to be won in the consolation bracket more so than the winner's bracket?
Well, I think every point matters in everything you're doing, right? It's all the little things. That's why you do all the little things right in your training and your preparation, because 1 point could be the difference, right? And 2 points, a pin's worth 2 points. A tech fall is 1.5 points. So you just anywhere you can pick up a point, you pick up a point. So and that's why this is a great team race and team opportunity. But yeah. Obviously, you got to score some bonus points, and our guys did a really nice job of that at the Big Ten. I think they scored quite a few bonus points, and that kind of kept us in the race there. But yeah, at the nationals, we got to wrestle to score points. That's it. That's team points and individually.
Ben Surface.
Yeah, after Big Tens, you mentioned you thought that Creighton Edsel should be also making the trip for nationals. Were you surprised that he didn't get a bid there?
I think it was close. I think he was the next guy probably in, and it could have gone his way. But again, if it's if you leave it in somebody else's hands, that's the kind of stuff that can happen, unfortunately. And he didn't. I think he was a great candidate for that wild card, but there were also some other great candidates, and unfortunately, he wasn't selected. So not much we can do about it now.
JP Pearson.
Hi, Coach.
Hey,
You mentioned the flawed system. Do you ever interact with or submit any feedback to the NCAA Wrestling Rules Committee? And how would you improve the seating process?
well, I'm not going to get into that. I mean, that's not really, my job right now. I mean, you can look at it and see how it's done. They have a, some kind of a system that they follow, that kind of, it's just like I already said, it's just not consistent. It doesn't have a setup to where you're using judgment and the wisdom of people that follow the sport on a consistent daily basis. But it's been like that for years. It's just, it's just probably time that, because everyone wants people to be treated right. And it's all about the student athlete. Take care and do right by the student athlete, whatever team they're on. You should get what you earn, kind of a thing. And that's what the system needs to be. And I think that's something that'll probably should be addressed in the off season. But yeah, like I said, this is nothing new, and I'm sure most programs are usually not feeling great or because you always see things from your perspective. So, I'm not going to think or waste too much energy on it. We got our first round match and we're going to focus on that.
Andrew. Andrew?
Sorry, I had something over top of the unmute button. Coach, you guys obviously dropped your first loss in the Big Ten championship, and you always hear coaches kind of different opinions on whether or not that's important going into a national championship or a conference tournament or something like that. What's your opinion on something like that in facing adversity when you've been perfect throughout the year?
My experience is that adversity is a blessing. I think history would show that it is a blessing, and it just brings out strength in you individually, brings strength out in you as a team, and so that really doesn't have anything to do with what we're doing next week. I don't think it's certainly not going to hurt our team effort and performance. So it's not something that we're really concerned about.
Greg Pickle.
Coach, what's the travel plan like for you guys? Is there anything you've learned? Obviously, you've been doing this as a wrestler and a coach for a very long time. Anything you've learned over the years about the best way to maximize your travel schedule and getting guys out there and ready for the start of the tournament? Can you just walk us through that, please?
I don't think we do anything unique. We just get there. That's the important thing. We just got to get there and be on weight at weigh-ins, and we'll be good to go.
All right, time for one more for Cael, and then we'll bring in Nick. Zach Allen, close us out.
Hey, Cael, I just have a simple question. What's the team's mentality going into the NCAAs?
Well, we're a week out right now, so that's not a question I could answer today, but I would say it's the same. Competitors are the same every day. Whether it's the first day or the second day, like I kind of mentioned before, and that's the mentality we go into every match with. So we're just excited and grateful for the opportunity to compete and to be a team, and for all. We got a lot to be proud of and to be grateful for. So we're going to be the same team that we have been all year. We're just going to go have a good time.
All right, let's wrap up, Cael. Cael, thanks very much for your
Thank
time
you.
today. We will talk to you later, and let's bring in Nick Lee.
Yeah, Pat, let me know if everyone can hear me.
I'm good. We got you.
All right, good.
Go. Yep. All right, so questions for Nick. Jim Carlson, get us started.
Hey, Nick, can you just think about your first trip to nationals and tell me the difference between what your mental approach was that season as opposed to what experience has taught you and how you approach it now?
Yeah, just not really knowing what to expect is a big one, right? So having done it three times now is it's a boon in that I kind of know what to expect. Kind of know what the level of competition, is going to be, what the demand is going to be. So it's helpful.
Andy Elder.
Yeah, like I'm wondering, in all your experience going into the tournament, what are some things that you've learned that you might be able to impart to some of the younger guys that they may not have picked up on yet?
I would say just is to enjoy the opportunity, right? It's not something that that very, very few people on the earth are going to be able to wrestle in a national championship, which is probably the most fun tournament on the planet, just with all the fans there. So I would just say, don't try to block things out. Just, really enjoy it and have fun, because it's not an opportunity a lot of people are going to have.
And Surface?
Nick, you're obviously one of the veterans on the team. What was your message to the guys, coming off your first team loss and now heading into the national tournament here?
Yeah, I mean, nothing changes, right? I mean, I think in my career, I think we've lost the Big Tens and then won the nationals maybe like twice. So, or maybe once, I'm not sure, but it's a tournament. We wrestled pretty well. We dropped some matches. I mean, that's just the sport, right? So I think we're just going to go in and ready to compete again.
Zach Allen?
Hey, Nick, I just asked Cael the same question, but what's your personal mentality going into the NCAA championships?
Nick, you cut out there. Can you repeat that?
I'm just ready to have fun and compete.
Tanyon Loose?
Nick, medical forfeits and other health-related issues are kind of a theme at the Big Ten tournament. How is your health personally right now, and just the team around you? You think you guys are pretty good to go heading into NCAAs?
Yeah, I think we're healthy. We're ready to roll.
Jim Carlson?
Similar to a couple of questions ago, Nick, so is this going to be the national is going to be the only thing in your mind, for the next week? I mean, how do you deal with the anticipation and not let it get to you?
Well, it's not the mine. I've got homework and some video games and stuff that are going on, but I mean, I don't, anxiety is a blessing because it means you're doing something worth doing, right? So, I mean, I don't think about it too much. I don't think it's something to stress about. It's a really fun opportunity. We'll make the most of it, but yeah, we're excited.
Andy Elder?
Nick, I'm sure we've asked you this before, but I'm wondering ahead of time, do you look at the draw and get a feel for who's in your bracket? And if you don't necessarily do it like last night, how soon before a match starts do you know who you're wrestling, just in case you might have some history there and you can draw on some past experiences?
Yeah, I actually haven't looked at my bracket yet. I'll probably take a look at it this week, but I kind of try to figure out, my coaches obviously know. So if there's something I need to know about my guy, I'm going to know before my match. But I remember one year going to the semis and I had Joey McKenna and I didn't know that I was wrestling. So I was like walking in. So like, there's definitely that happens sometimes. That's more of like I just like forget to check than actually me not wanting to know. I don't really worry about it that much. Right. At this point, you've wrestled almost every guy in the bracket for the most part. So, and you're experienced and you kind of know what to expect. So I'll let my coaches kind of worry if there's anything specific I need to worry about.
And Surface?
Nick, you had your teammate Aaron Brooks drop his first match in a long time. What have you seen from him, in the locker room, in the weight room, coming off that loss?
Yeah, I mean, he's regular happy Aaron Brooks, right? I mean, he's just really a blessing to have around, and he keeps things light. So no change. That guy's he's rock solid.
All right, and last one for Nick, Andrew Clay.
Hey, Nick, you just mentioned kind of jokingly a little bit, but that you were playing video games, you had other things going on in your life. We talked with Coach this year about Sean McDermott's visit a couple years ago, and you guys playing, I believe it was dodgeball when Coach McDermott visited. How important this week do you think staying loose is?
Yeah, I mean, it's always important. You definitely don't want to get too anxious. We work really hard, and we're training hard right now. But I think it's always important to keep it light. Just, it keeps anxiety low, and we're also just guys. So guys like to have fun. So that's important to keep in mind.
All right, that's it for Nick. Nick, thank you so much for giving us your time this morning, man. See ya. All right, and let's bring in Max Dean. Max, how are you today? Thank you.
Oh, hey, yeah, I'm doing well. My pleasure.
All right, let's questions for Max. Andy Elder, get us started.
Max, looks like your hometown's about 2 hours from Detroit. I'm wondering how many people you expect to have in the stands, and how does that affect you? Is it reassuring? Does it make you a little more nervous because you got more people that you're close to? How does that impact you?
I'm sure I'll have a lot of family and friends there, but it's nothing new. I'm super lucky. I got a great support system, obviously among the Penn State wrestling family, but also just my, personal family back home. And so they're always coming out to support me. And in terms of wrestling, it doesn't really change anything whether they're there or not. I got a job to do and go out and do it.
Jim Carlson.
Hey, Max, do you think that the Penn State schedule, with 2 weeks off after Nebraska, 2 weeks off after Ryder, gave, you a bit of a necessary rest, still ample time to train and head toward peaking at the right time?
Yeah. Yep. No, I think it's nice sometimes to have those weekends off because you can get some hard training in. But when you're wrestling matches, you want to use that like training too, as there's really not better practice than competition. So, and, we just got a couple more hard days of training here before we, rest up for NCAAs.
Tanyon Loose.
Max, you've obviously been a part of competitive teams like Cornell, but what has this year been like, and just recently in the postseason, what has it been like to be part of a team that's likely the favorite to bring home the title when it comes down to it?
It's exciting, right? Penn State has been a staple in wrestling for a long time. So, just getting to wrestle under Cael Sanderson and, all the other coaches and with my teammates has been a lot of fun. But, just in terms of being the favorite or not the favorite, it's not really something that we're thinking about. We're just focused on competing and, going to go let it rip.
Zach Allen.
Hey, Max. Someone asked Nick Lee a similar question, but you're the top seed going into a winner-go-home tournament. How do you deal with the anticipation and stay loose?
I don't really feel a ton of anticipation or anxiety or anything. I just keep it light. I like playing cards and, or a funny TV show or something. I hang out with my buddies and my fiance, and that's about it. I don't really feel anxious, just excited.
JP Pearson.
Hi, Max. This is a bit of a deep pool, but after Pittsburgh 2019, you went into the Inside Trip podcast and talked about how in December of that season, you had implemented a mentality change in which you decided to surrender the outcome and wrestle without fear. But that for the finals, you got this is your quote, a little too attached to materialism, and you stole something away from yourself. I was wondering, how have you used that finals performance to once again wrestle without fear?
Yeah, well, so obviously that's a valuable experience, as many experiences are. But, there's things that I obviously want to do different, now from then. And that was a long time ago. So, and things have been imperfect. I've lost and I've won and I've done different. It's been a few years. So, but just like I said, keeping it light and focusing on wrestling and, not really what the stakes are or anything like that. Just going out there to compete because, like Nick said, these opportunities are few and far between. So just want to make the most of it.
Thanks.
Andy Elder.
Yeah, Max, I asked Nick the same question I'll ask you. I'm wondering, do you take a look at the brackets as soon as they come out? Do you analyze and visualize what you're going to do about possible opponents? And if you don't, I'm wondering how soon before you wrestle do you know who you're going to wrestle and visualize some things that you need to do against an opponent you may have faced before?
Yeah, I haven't looked. I won't look. I don't really care to know. If there's this tournament, you got to take it a match at a time, right? Crazy stuff always happens at it. So you really don't know who you're going to wrestle except for the next guy you're wrestling. And, at this point, I'm sure if there's something I need to know for my first guy, my coaches will let me know. But outside of that, there's not really much to it. It's kind of funny. Nick said the story about wrestling Joey McKenna in the semis. Before I wrestled Miles Martin in the semis, the last time I was in NCAAs, I actually didn't know who I was wrestling until like 10 minutes before the match. So, I think it's just better keeping it that way. I mean, if someone tells me somehow, it's not a big deal, but just focused on myself and what I'm doing.
And Surface.
Max, you've seen a great deal of individual success at the NCAAs. What's some of your advice or messages to some of the younger guys who haven't seen that success yet at the big stage like nationals?
Well, I thought Nick made some really good points about having fun and enjoying it. And I think just managing your energy, in between matches, don't go too high or too low, no matter what happens, just, on task and get ready for the next one. And just, I think I try to keep it just really, really even. And like I said, not go too high or not go too low.
Andrew Clay.
Hey, Max, you and Nick have both kind of talked about this with these questions about your opponents, kind of this hyper individualized focus going to the national championship. Is that a different approach than the regular season where on Monday, you know exactly who you're wrestling or generally know who you're wrestling on Saturday?
No, I mean, I think maybe the situation's a little different because, like I said, you only know who your next match is. I mean, if you want to know, that is. And versus, maybe I guess, yeah, for duels, who you're probably going to wrestle. But I think, the effort to keep your mindset is still the same. You don't really want to be worried about what the other guy is doing. You want to be focused on yourself and going out and scoring points. And I think that's when the best wrestling happens.
Zach Allen.
Hey, Max, you won a Big Ten title, but the team lost. Is the team hungrier going into NCAAs because of that, or is it just the nature of the tournament gets the team amped?
I don't think we're really even too focused on Big Tens now. It's just next one up, business as usual, and going to go compete hard. I think focusing on that would just be, it's just kind of a distraction from the job we have in front of us.
Tanyon Loose.
Max, I'm sure there's obviously a lot of kind of reactions to the result on Sunday in the media and everything. And I know you mentioned like a while ago that you deleted all your social media and you don't like to have a big online presence. How do you think that has helped you recently just to stay focused and everything?
It's been good. Yeah. Yep. I mean, I'll confess, I do have an Instagram account, but I don't even know the login. I haven't been on it at all. So, I don't want to sound like a total fraud that there is one out there that exists, but I don't use it. And it's been over a year since I've used any social media. But yeah, I think it's good to focus, right? I appreciate media and you guys and what you do, but in terms of being a competitor, it's probably not the best thing to let other people into my mind or dictate my thoughts and to be reading stuff online. And so I just stay away from that and just kind of focus on myself. And I think it helps.
And Surface.
Max, obviously you were at Cornell before, Penn State now, and like I was said before, you guys are the favorite now as a team. So how does your mindset change from more of an individual standpoint to now competing for a potential team title?
I was at Cornell a while ago, right? So I'm different now in some ways, but in terms of my approach to what I need to do, Coach Cael says it all the time. The best thing you can do is take care of yourself, right? And that's the best thing you can do for the team. So, obviously I love my teammates and I want to see them do really well and support them. But at the same time, I need to go out and score points. And in order to do that, I need to stay in my routine, stay focused on what I need. And I think that's the way that I can best serve everybody.
JP Pearson.
I was wondering if you could describe for us the similarities and differences between Rob Cole and Mike Ray and Cael and Casey.
I don't want to get too much into former coaches or what they're doing. No disrespect to anybody. But I love it here. I love the way Coach Cael does stuff and Casey does stuff. Throw Jimmy and Cody in there too, because you've got 4 just world-class coaches. Not that they need me to say that about them. But yeah, I don't want to really be focused too much on the past, just on where I'm at now. And I just want to say that I do really appreciate where I am. And, it's fun wrestling under these coaches. And, I'm excited to go make it happen with them next weekend. Yeah, next weekend.
The last one for Max. Andy Elder, close us out.
Max, you said that you anticipate having a lot of family and friends there. I'm wondering, in a tournament like this over 3 days, is there time to visit with friends and family, or is that what the postseason's for?
No, I mean, I think there is time. Especially for me, it's just usually my immediate family. Maybe one of my best buddies and, my brother, my fiance, my sister. I like playing cards in between rounds. I mentioned that earlier. I don't know, anybody from the Midwest might know what euchre is. It's like my favorite game. So usually I'm playing cards in between round or taking a nap but yeah, no, I'm just super blessed to have some of the people behind me because they're running, doing stuff for me, getting me food or, all last weekend, my brother was making me ice baths every night and stuff like that. So, I see them a lot, but it's just more, they're there for me and supporting me. And, I'm sure I'll have to down the road, they've got money in the bank for I owe them back or something, but I see my family quite a bit.
All right, Max, thank you very much. That wraps us up for today. Max, we'll talk to you later. Appreciate it.
Yep. No, thank you guys. Bye.
See you. Thank you, everyone. Y'all have a great weekend, and we'll see some of you next week in Detroit.
Thank you.